So, hello guys. I hope everybody could see me. So, we're going to start working on the TOEFL speaking tasks, and to begin with, I'll consider to start some kind of reviews on TOEFL videos. And we're going to start with the video called about the deadly sins of speaking and how we could speak that people want to listen to. So I'm trying to find this video and we're going to start. I hope that you will hear the translation. Very good. So just let me okay, that's my headphones. Okay. So just let me look. Okay, then. So just okay. So hope everybody will see me.
The human voice. It's the instrument we all play. It's the most powerful sound in the world, probably. It's the only one that can start a war or say, I love you. And yet many people have the experience that when they speak, people don't listen to them. Why is that? How can we speak powerfully to make change in the world?
So the author begins by telling us about the situation that many people faced. It is about the people don't listen while one person tries to give a talk. Well, that is a big and acute problem when those untrained try to present their ideas to people. Oh, how and the author puts forward the idea how we could speak that people will desire to listen to us.
What I'd like to suggest, there are a number of habits that we need to move away from. I've assembled for your pleasure here 7 deadly sins of speaking. I'm not pretending this is an exhaustive list, but these 7, I think, are pretty large. Habits that we can all fall into.
There are 7 ideas to the author's mind, 7 deadly sins of speaking. So there are 7 ways to speak bad and which will lead to a negative impact to your speech. All these 7 sins of speaking, every person can fall into these 7 deadly sins of speaking. So we just should follow his advice and then to make our speech more clear.
First, gossip. Speaking ill of somebody who's not present. Not a nice habit, and we know perfectly well the person gossiping 5 minutes later will be gossiping about us.
Okay, so the first sin is gossip. What is gossip? Gossip is speaking about somebody or something not very good, or speaking negatively, or I don't know, speaking something that is really wrong and maybe untrue or not evidentially proved. And mm, later, people will think that if a person speaks badly about somebody, meanwhile or later, this person will talk about us in that way. That's why people will not later listen to you if you use such kind of way of speaking, such gossip.
Second, judging. We know people who are like this in conversation, and it's very hard to listen to somebody if you know that you're being judged and found wanting at the same time.
The next one is judging. What means judging? It's when you are criticized. If someone criticizes you and your ideas by not proving his own ideas, or just speaks about you in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, this person, so you, will not listen to him or her, because she is criticizing you. She looks down on you, trying to make her or himself more, I don't know. So just look down on you. So that's why people will not listen to you if you'll try to use judging. Do not judge persons you are speaking to.
Third, negativity. You can fall into this. My mother, in the last years of her life, became very, very negative, and it's hard to listen. I remember one day I said to her, "It's October the 1st today," and she said, "I know, isn't it dreadful?"
So the situation is negativity can also make people not to listen to you while you are when you're giving a speech, giving a talk. Why? Because if we listen to the negative ideas, it cognitively somewhat in our mind makes our idea infinitesimal, so little, because negative events are not going to penetrate our mind. They are going to be forgotten later, because every negative idea or negative situation will be forgotten, because our mind is built in this kind of way.
It's hard to listen when somebody's that negative.
Right.
And another form of negativity, complaining. Well, this is the national art of the UK.
So what's complaining? It's the fourth sin of speaking. Complaining. It means that when we are talking to a person and try to tell all the negative things that happen to us, and say that, oh my god, it happened again, and to tell more and more negative things to a person. Well, you should understand that every person, every man and woman have negativity. So, some of them have even that they don't want to talk to, or sometimes on contrary want to tell you. And if you are going to complain, to tell more and more about negative things you've gone through, a person will just um just what just click away. Will just ignore you, so they will not listen to you because you are speaking a lot about negative things. Oh, sorry.
It's our national sport. We complain about the weather, about sport, about politics, about everything. But actually complaining is viral misery. It's not spreading sunshine and lightness in the world. Excuses. We've all met this guy. Maybe we've all been this guy. Some people have a blame thrower. They just pass it on to everybody else and don't take responsibility for their actions. And again, hard to listen to somebody who's being like that. Penultimate, the sixth.
So, the fifth one is excuses. Well, you know that it's hard to listen to a person that excuses and put its blame on everybody else. So that's called a blame thrower. So it's kind of a thing or abstract thing that does not exist, thing that doesn't exist in reality, but means like a thing that some people use to put their blame on another person. So that's the blame thrower. The thing that we use to put our blame on other people and not to accept our responsibility on different things and our failures we've made or mistakes we've made. So penultimate. Penultimate means it's not the last one, but the one that is before the last one. Penultimate.
6 of the 7. Embroidery, exaggeration. It demeans our language, actually, sometimes.
So the penultimate one is exaggeration. So we just expand, boom the ideas, overestimating them. They are not real, so we just make little things bigger, and the big ideas so huge that they seem to be unreal. Nobody will listen to you if you are trying to exaggerate things, expand things more than their normal size. The idea that is worth spreading should not be considered as a small. So you just measure the thing properly, and just before your speech, you should evaluate your idea on some kind of scale and stick or bend to 1 degree and speak in that degree during the whole speech. Okay?
For example, if I see something that really is awesome, what do I call it? And then, of course, this exaggeration becomes lying, out and out lying, and we don't want to listen to people we know are lying to us.
Oh, yes. Well, while we're expanding the ideas, so when we expand those ideas more and more, and there will be the edge that we will face, and then, after this age, people will stop listening to us because we are speaking too exaggeratedly. So, too huge ideas that are overestimated. They've made so big that they are not interesting as they were.
And finally, dogmatism. The confusion of facts with opinions. When those two things get conflated, you're listening into the wind. You know, somebody is bombarding you with their opinions as if they were true. It's difficult to listen to that.
Yeah, so the last one is dogmatism, and you will see the table where all these 7 ideas are mentioned, and the last one is dogmatism. Yeah, right. It's when we're bend to one idea and we're just speaking the facts rather than our ideas. So we should just note main ideas. So just let's listen once more.
When those two things get conflated, you're listening into the wind. You know, somebody is bombarding you with their we know are lying to us. And finally, dogmatism. The confusion of facts with opinions. When those two things get conflated, you're listening into the wind. You know, somebody is bombarding you with their opinions as if they were true. It's difficult to listen to that.
Yeah, so dogmatism, it's when we just speak a lot about our own opinion. We do not provide facts. We do not just explain the ideas as they are, so as they exist. It's just about when we are making our own opinions and speaking to people. More and more just our own opinion, not facts, not the main idea we are going to speak to, just our opinion. So in my opinion, to my mind, if they were true, as the author mentions, maybe they're true. No, we should provide evidences, proofs, and we should prove our idea in the way that people should just consume the main idea, not our own opinion.
So here they are,
yeah.
7 deadly sins of speaking. These are things I think we need to avoid. But is there a positive way to think about this? Yes, there is. I'd like to suggest that there are 4 really powerful cornerstones, foundations, that we can stand on if we want our speech to be powerful and to make change in the world.
Yeah, so the author provides us with some kind of instrument or tools that we could that we can use to not just avoid those 6 deadly sins, but there are some ways to make our speech better.
Fortunately, these things spell a word. The word is hail, and it has a great definition as well. I'm not talking about the stuff that falls from the sky and hits you on the head. I'm talking about this definition, to greet or acclaim enthusiastically.
So hail, 4 letters that will help us to speak better.
Which is, I think, how our words will be received if we stand on these 4 things. So what do they stand for? See if you can guess. The H, honesty, of course. Being true in what you say, being straight and clear. The A is authenticity, just being yourself. A friend of mine described it as standing in your own truth, which I think is a lovely way to put it. The I is integrity, being your word, actually doing what you say, and being somebody people can trust. And the L is love. I don't mean romantic love.
So, 4 terms that we could use that is spelled in the word hail. The first one is honesty. What is honesty? It's when we speak from our heart. It's when we speak truly to person, and as it means straight. Authenticity, the second one, so A, authenticity, it's just to explain our ideas as we think they are ours. So they explain our ideas as we see them, as we think about them, about the things we're talking about. So the third one, integrity. It means that you should do or make the idea we speak about real. So be your word. Be the person who will fulfill his ideas or put them into their reality.
But I do mean wishing people well. For 2 reasons. First of all, I think absolute honesty may not be what we want. I mean, my goodness, you look ugly this morning. Perhaps that's not necessary. Tempered with love, of course, honesty is a great thing. But also, if you're really wishing somebody well, it's very hard to judge them at the same time.
Oh yes, and the last one is love. So it means wishing well to people. It means that we're not just speaking with honesty. Yeah, so the author exemplifies the situation that we just come to our girlfriend and say, oh my god, we should speak with honesty, yeah, you are looking ugly this morning. No, not yet. So just wishing people to be well. Try to show our idea and put some love. So put some, I don't know, to put in the idea another idea that you wish or desire that somebody should be better and should become better or should work on them to make them more and more beautiful, for example.
I'm not even sure you can do those two things simultaneously. So hail. Also, now that's what you say, and it's like the old song, it is what you say, it's also the way that you say it.
Yeah, so the idea is there are two ways to avoid the bad representation or presentation of your speech. So the first way is to speak about something. So the first thing is it's about how we so the way about what about what we speak. It's not the last thing we should consider. The second one is how we speak it, the way we speak. So how we speak about the thing.
You have an amazing toolbox. This instrument is incredible, and yet this is a toolbox that very few people have ever opened.
So that's the idea. That's the main idea about the second and the latter thing, thing I spoke. I have spoken. So there is some kind of a toolbox, a box with instruments that we could use in our speech to make our representation better at the same time with the topic we would like to speak on.
I'd like to have a little rummage in there with you now and just pull a few tools out that you might like to take away and play with, which will increase the power of your speaking.
Yeah, so we're going to start with the opening and uncovering this toolbox that we could use to make and to increase the power of our speaking.
Register, for example. Now, falsetto register may not be very useful most of the time, but there's a register in between. I'm not going to get very technical about this for any of you who are voice coaches. You can locate your voice, however. So if I talk up here in my nose, you can hear the difference. If I go down here in my throat, which is where most of us speak from most of the time, but if you want weight, you need to go down here to the chest. You hear the difference?
So the first tool is register. A falsetto register. So it's when we speak from our nose. So falsetto register, it's when we speak from our nose. Then there is something that is near our chest. Our chest, so it's when we speak from this point. And the last one, it's when we speak from our body. It's it's very important when we talk with people and are trying to show our ideas to a big audiences. When we speak from our body, not from our chest and not from our nose, but when we speak from our body. Okay? So there is the big difference. There is a difference between where we speak. So the register is very, very important.
Difference? We vote for politicians with lower voices.
Yeah, so we vote for politicians with lower voices. When we have this way of speaking, we attract people more because we seem to be strong and people see us as strong ones.
It's true, because we associate depth with power and with
Depth
authority.
with power and authority.
That's register. And we have timbre. It's the way your voice feels. Again, the research shows that we prefer voices which are rich, smooth, warm, like hot chocolate.
Yeah, so timbre is very important. And the author says that we prefer people who speak like hot chocolate. So we just could use down chest style of register, so speaking from the body, and then speak with a timbre that is rich, smooth, like hot chocolate. So that is the idea. So that's how it works. And we should try and we should practice more and more to speak like hot chocolate. How to do this is just to practice more and more.
Well, if that's not you, that's not the end of the world, because you can train.
Yeah,
Go get a voice coach.
We can
And there are
train.
amazing things you can do with breathing, with posture, and with exercises to improve the timbre of your voice. Then prosody. I love prosody. This is the sing-song, the meta-language.
Yeah, the prosody. It's the way we just make strength to the world, to words we say. The meta language. That's how our language sings. How our language sings. How to make your speech like a song that people will desire to listen to you and to your ideas, of course.
That we use in order to impart meaning. It's route one for meaning.
Yeah, it's just like it's how we try to impart our ideas and to make them influence other people.
In conversation. People who speak all on one note are really quite hard to listen to if they don't have any prosody at all.
The monotonic voice. It's a very big scene that could be just included in those 7 things. So neutral or monotonic, monotone prosody. So no prosody, no auditorium, no people that will listen to you and consume your ideas, or maybe take them into consideration later, or maybe continue your ideas. Put them in place, or just put them into effect, into practice, bring them to fruition, or bring them into action later.
That's where the word monotonic comes from, or monotonous, monotone. Also, we have repetitive prosody now coming in, where every sentence ends as if it were a question, when it's actually not a question, it's a statement. And if you repeat that one over and over, it's actually restricting your ability to communicate through prosody, which I think is a shame. So let's try and break that habit. Pace. I can get very, very excited by saying something really, really quickly, or I can slow right down to emphasize. And at the end of that, of course, is our old friend, silence. There's nothing wrong with a bit of silence in a talk, is there? We don't have to fill it with ums and ahs. It can be very powerful. Of course, pitch often goes along with pace.
So, we will continue reviewing this video later. Now I would better stop, because there are many information we faced, and we should just consume it, and then we will try to make another video and to continue talking about that sort of things. And I'll also try to fix my microphone to make it better sounding, to sound better, and maybe then we will continue. So see you guys, thank you for watching this video, and see you soon.